All right, hey, shalom, 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 shalom. Want to start by saying, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahushai, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahushai, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahushai, Kahalama Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakudash, and also double honor to the apostles, the elder bishops, and the elders Grand Millstone who rule well, and also shalom to sincere Akim pushing truth in the name of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakudash. All right, back here again on Highway and Byways, as the usual. And hey, what is it? So today's it's Good Friday over here in Australia. So it's the the so-called Good Friday. It's the whole Easter holiday over here in Australia. So people, they're doing whatever they're doing on this day. Okay, worshiping Jesus Christ. Saying whatever these Christians believe in. But as you can see of what's going on worldwide right now, okay, this Esau is building, all right, is building he's building some troubles up, all right, or should I say, how about Shem Yahushai is making Esau, okay, build up towards a time like never seen before, okay, a time of Jacob trouble, all right. That's what Esau is heading towards right now, and how about Shem Yahushai is the one who's controlling him. He's the one who's in the midst of it. It ain't gonna be Esau. He's gonna wake up one day and just come here and cause trouble without being without him getting authorization or authorized from Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right, it does not work like that, man. Okay, so let's go from here. And Shalom, okay, Yahweh Shem Shabrakatah. Let's go start here real quick with a precept, and then and go from there. This is the book of Zephaniah, all right? Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 5. The just Lord Yahweh is in the midst thereof. So Yahweh Shem Yahushua is always going to be in the midst of all evils that you see taking places worldwide. You had an earthquake that took place over there in San Diego. It wasn't terrible as the one that took place over there in Thailand, or Mayan. Okay, it wasn't terrible as that. But we've been saying for a long time that, hey, what is one day, California, okay, or San Francisco, whatever, when you watch those movies that Esau, have created, programming you people to get used to, seeing earthquake taking places over there in California. We've been, Esau has made movies like that, showing you, was that San Francisco, I believe it was, right? With that movie with The Rock, tsunami hitting San Francisco, okay, earthquake hitting parts of California. Esau have created movies like that, and we know that we're living in a time. All right, we're living in a time where the scripture says that knowledge shall be increased. All right, so knowledge has increased in righteousness, also on the left side. All right. Okay, so Esau has that type of power, okay, to create machines that can cause a tsunami and wipe out a whole city out. All right, Esau has that type of equipment that can create an earthquake and cause damages. Okay, so as we know right now, we're living in a era where this devil, okay, is being pushing climate change. All right, everything that happens, he straight goes to climate change. Some of earthquake we see, hey, it might be a natural cause for sure. We're not gonna we're not gonna disagree with that. All right. San Andreas is the film beautiful, and I believe San Andreas is based within San Francisco, right? The city, right? The bridge, the whole Golden State Bridge, right? That was over there in San Francisco, right? So that was a movie that Esau created. That's it's called a predicting program, One day you're gonna wake up, you know, oh, tsunami, a warning of tsunami or earthquake happening within this place. And then you're gonna be like, damn, that was San Andreas, you know? Because Isawa is being slowly, all right, programming you, man. The same way they've made movies to do with the MOTB, the Mark of the Beast. All right, they're showing you people in the movies with chipping them, okay? You know, going to stores, you know, tapping their hand and buying, or using their foreheads to buy, using their foreheads to enter into a business building, right? You know, that's called programming, man. Esau is showing you what he wants to bring within the future, what he wants to do within the future, because on the left side, Esau does have what? He does have messengers, you know, and the way his message comes out is through his movies, TV series, okay, music videos, commercials, this fucking, what is that? Billboards, you know? Yeah. I remember over here, you know, a quick example, I'll come back on the precepts. I remember when the climate thing, okay, the CC, you know, was becoming a big thing because the whole water was, you know, getting fucked up. All right, and there was fires over there in California. There was fires over here in parts of Australia, right? And then the one thing Esau promoted on our billboards was make sure you have your premium insurance, okay, in case of a natural disaster takes place, right? That was, you know, this big insurance they were promoting now, right? And guess what? So many people went and bought those premium insurance, right? Couple years later, what took place over here? In Queensland? We got hit by a cyclone. It wasn't that terrible, but here some people shook. Floods after floods. Right now, you know, me making this video right now. Okay, there's parts, all right. There's parts of here in Queensland that are getting hammered by floods. Rain that don't fucking stop. You know, like, you know, farms being taken out. As I speak right now, man, you can look it up. Queensland floods, 2025, March, April. Look it up. You know, so we know Esau, you know, he's doing his shit on the left side, but guess what? He's too operating for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. If a brother want to put up that precept in the book of Psalms chapter 17 verse 13, you know, also Isaiah chapter 45. Isaiah 47:5, right? You know, I create good and evil, you know? So it says here, right? Zephaniah 3:5. Just bear with me. Zephaniah chapter 3 verse 5. The just Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity every morning, that he brings judgment to light. He faileth not, but the unjust of no shame. Exactly. So, you know, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is the one who steady bringing judgment upon the earth. You know, don't matter if it's Esau who's doing it, all right? Okay, it doesn't matter if it's Esau who's doing it. It's how Ba'ashem Yahushua is using it, all right? Let's go from there. Let's go to the book of Psalms real quick. I guess Psalms. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 17. In verse 13, it says, arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him. Okay, arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him, right? It says, disappoint him, cast him down, which is talking about Esau, because eventually the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, is going to cast down Esau, okay, to the ground. And that, you know, of Esau being cast down has already started. There's a lot of signs that are showing that this kingdom of Esau is being checked by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. You know, that's why Esau is losing the narrative right now. Like the brother from Matasba from GMS of Melbourne always says, Esau is losing the narrative. Okay, all right, he's losing it. You know, to where, you know, this devil a couple months ago, this devil was running with this whole anti-thing, and then he got checked. All right, by his own kind, saying that whole anti thing that he was trying to run with, it was set up within side. And now they're no longer talking about it, right? But guess what? The job is already done, because the laws that Esau was looking to pass, those laws has already been passed. So now if you get caught talking about about those small heart, guess what? Them laws are gonna be applied to you, even though it was found out it was set up by the insider, man. They didn't go back and say these laws. Let's take these. Let's unsign these laws. No, So it says, "Arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword." So Esau is a sword the Heavenly Father Yahweh Hashem Yahushua uses. All right. And then let's go from there. Let's get another one. Let's go to the book of Romans real quick. This is the book of Romans, chapter 3, and I get to the point of it. Let me see. Romans chapter 3, it's like Romans chapter 13. Before I get that one, let's go to the book of, let's go to the Apocrypha. This is the book of Sirach. Sirach chapter 39 and verse 20. Let me see. Sirach chapter 39 and verse 28. It says, "There be spirits that are crave for vengeance." All right. Esau is one of that spirit that was crave for vengeance as well, man. All right. It said there be spirits that are crave for vengeance, which in their fury lay on so strokes. All right. In the time of destruction, they pour out their foes and appease the wrath of him that made him. And Esau does that, man. All right. A lot of people, a little Jake don't get, even you Jakes in the truth. When Esau is doing that, example, when Esau is committing, is committing atrocity against our people, shooting down Jake, doing all type of chaos. You gotta remember, it's the Heavenly Father Yahweh Hashem controlling him. There's no man here on the earth, all right, no one here on the earth, okay? Even though we know Esau is in power right now, he does no move, okay? Unless Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, okay, give him that, give him that, authorization, all right? So it says, and appease the wrath of him that made him, fire and hail, and famine and death. You see? And all these right here are going to be brought in by who? Esau. Esau is going to create famine, man-made famine. We've been telling you about that. Esau being brought in fire. Okay? Let's go back, to what he did to the people over there in Japan. The Ammonites, what he did to them? He dropped that bomb on them, Hiroshima. Okay, over there, that bomb, he dropped over there in Japan. Okay, the city was called Hiroshima, right? And then what he did to, what NATO did to Yugoslavia. Okay, those, over there in East Europe, such was Serbia, Yugoslavia, Serbia, Bosnia, and the list goes on. When he dropped them bombs on them, that's fire right there, that Esau used. And then, recently, we seen what Esau did over there in Hawaii, fire, right? We see what Esau did over there in California, right? Also, we seen what Esau been doing, with certain fires that get set up by, get set up by him. That's Esau doing now, man. Okay, and it says hail. We seen Esau cause fucking hail to come upon earth, okay, through his technology. You can call it conspiracy theory, but this man has the equipment that do that, man. All right. Yeah, we seen hail fall down here on earth. All right, out of nowhere, without warning. And then Esau after that, he go, on TV, predicted, oh yeah, see, when you follow this route of how the storm was moving, they show you all these fucking beams, laser beams within that weather map. It's like, what the fuck is going on over there, man? What are you guys doing, right? It says, in famine, Esau can cause famine, just like that. Easy. It's easy to cause a famine. And this devil hasn't, he showed us, a few things that he's capable of doing as a running test. Okay? Esau could right now say, we got a big storm coming right now. All right, a big storm. So get your essential food and water, get everything you need, and he can release that storm. And that storm, it could be what he says is going to be category 4 or 5. And that storm will really smash our cities. And then guess what? And they can go ahead and flood out, warehouses where, that food was coming from, and flood out the farms. And then what? That's a famine. That's a man-made famine right there, man. All right. Then it says, and death, and Esau is going to cause big death to come upon earth through the jump shot real soon. Okay. See, people still walking around boasting that they're protected from the C-19, but no, that's not over. It ain't over, man. Them jump shot you took are still in your they are still in your body. That's why people nowadays, nowadays people be misbehaving. People people don't move the same way they used to move before the C-19 came in. Okay, people are fucking angry. People just drive reckless these days. People, get irritated quick. It's like, what the fuck happened to you? You used to be the coolest motherfucker, but ever since, you took that damn thing, it's like you got double demons on you now. Fuck. All right. Anyway, it says, it says, let me read on. And it says, all these were crave for vengeance. All these were crave for vengeance. All right. Verse 30. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions and serpents. It says, and the sword punishing the wicked to destruction, and the sword punishing the wicked to destruction. And we just read Psalm 17 and 13, that Esau is a sword for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. And is Esau going to be used to punish the 2/3 of our people? Absolutely. Is Esau going to be used to punish the wicked of our people scattered around the four corners of the earth? Absolutely, man. All right. Verse 31, they shall rejoice in his commandment. They shall be ready upon the earth when need is, and when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word. You wait. Once Esau gets given that green light, you're gonna see, man. You're gonna see Esau, man. You're gonna see. Let me get it. See, hey, let me get that. Let me stick here real quick. Let me go to the book of Revelation chapter 12 and verse 12. Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth. Okay, woe be unto you people that dwell on the earth. All right. And of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have by a short time. You see, so when Esau gets given that green light, you're definitely gonna see, you're definitely gonna see that great wrath come upon you people, man. When you see this here happen, Esau is running around like a madman, as mentioned in the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 16. Then you know that green light is right there. Right now, Esau got yellow light. Okay, he's steady waiting on our waiting on our yellow light to go green. Yeah, because why do I say that? Yellow light, because right now we're in a time where Esau is he's setting up everything. Okay, he's setting up everything towards Jacob trouble, man. This is that setup stage right now, that yellow light. Then eventually, how about Shem Yahushua is gonna boom, green light, and Esau is gonna fucking lose it. Esau is gonna lose his mind on you jakes who don't got no protection, man. All right, you niggas walking around and scoffing, okay, debating, don't want to prophesy, all right, being a weirdos. Esau is gonna be let loose on you, man. Believe it or not. Okay. Let me see. Revelation 12 and 17. It says, and the dragon was wroth with the woman. All right. And the dragon right now is talking about Esau, man. Okay. It was wroth with the woman. The woman represents Israel. All right. And the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make a war with the remnant of her seed, which is talking about the elect. And Esau is gonna try to do that. But see, that's when he's gonna lose, when he's coming against the men of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, the true believers. And then that's when Yahushua is gonna interfere with, in the midst of that, man. And that's gonna be the end of Esau, man. Because Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, is not gonna watch his elect be put to death. There's certain brothers and women. All right, there's a number of women, of men and women who are gonna be martyred. All right, after that, that's it. That number is not gonna go over, man. Esau's not gonna go ahead and grab 2 or 1 and go and rebel against what Yahweh Hashem has set up. You see, it says, but Esau's gonna try, and then that's when you're gonna see, and that's when you're gonna start seeing what miracles. All right, that's when you're gonna start seeing miracles. Okay, brothers receiving spiritual power. Okay. No, that's so good, because when you watch the movie, which I'm gonna do that right now just to be sure. It's a movie, but I wanna be sure. San Andres. Yeah, because when you go to the images, you do see that bridge. All right, you do see that bridge over there. That big bridge is Golden State Bridge. Is So this is a quick one. It says here, right? Overview. This is the San Andreas movie, right? And off topic. I'll come back. It says, overview. Following a massive earthquake. See, a massive earthquake. We just seen another massive earthquake, 5.2, a earthquake that struck San Diego, right? It says, following massive earthquake, Ray rescued chopper pilot and his stranger wife tried to find and save their daughters before another disaster strikes. So when you go into the images, they do show you the like, I don't know if you brothers can see that bridge right there. You see that bridge? That's over there in let me look it up. Golden. It's a Golden Gate Bridge. It's like it, right? So that's Golden Gate Bridge, which was in our movie. Telling you that movie was based over there in San Francisco. All right. So Golden Gate Bridge is over there in San Francisco. Okay. Right. The Golden Bridge is a suspension bridge spanning the Golden Gate, the 1 mile wide, 1.6 kilometer stretch connecting San Francisco Bay and Pacific Ocean in California, United States. So it was based over there. So anyway, like I was saying before, let me to new outcome. You good to new who just came tuned in. What I was saying before, Esau been showing us movies to do with earthquakes. Okay, hitting parts of California. I mentioned San Francisco, and a few other parts over there in California. Getting hit by earthquakes. So now San Diego just got hit by 5.2, but Esau could be the one who's just running little tests just to see, So let's come back here again. So Revelation 12 and 17, and the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make a war with the remnant of her seed, which is talking about the elect, which keep the commandments of God, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, and have the testament of Yahweh HaMashiach, and that's the elect. All right, Esau's going to come against them, But like I said before, when he dies, he's going to lose miserably. Let's go here. Let's get a quick precept. Just bear with me. This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 2, verse 8. Thus said the Lord Yahweh Hashem of hosts, after the glory have he sent upon me to the nations which spoiled you. For he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye. You know, so eventually Esau, you know, you're gonna put your hands on that same, like I said, same brothers and sisters who were meant to be a martyr, right? But after that, that's gonna be it for you, man. You're not gonna go over that number. You know, and then you're gonna try and try, like I was saying, you're gonna try and just keep fucking trying. Then Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is gonna show his power, man. All right. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is gonna show his power. Let's go here to the book of Isaiah. Isaiah chapter. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 59 and verse Isaiah chapter 59 and verse 19. So shall they fear the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, right? When the enemy shall come in like a flood, okay, destructive. Esau's gonna come in like a destructive flood. All right. Remember that anger, man. All right, he's gonna come in with the anger, out of control. He's losing the narrative. He's trying to, you know, cancel a lot of things. He's trying to hide a lot of information, right? When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua shall lift up a standing against him. You see? So that's when, you know, brothers are gonna receive spiritual power. Okay, Esau's gonna try to put brothers who was not meant to be put to death. He's gonna try to do that, but the brothers ain't gonna they ain't gonna die, you know. And knowing Esau, he's so fucking dumb and stupid because he's being checkmated, right, by Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, is that he's gonna try to televise these things. All right, he's gonna try to televise, you know, him, you know, trying to him persecuting the men of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. All right, and then, you know, from there, you know, he's gonna try, you know, go over that number. You know, and him, you know, let's say he's trying to put a brother to death or something. And guess what? Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is going to lift up a standing against him. Spiritual power is going to, you know, be given to that brother. You know, angels might show up and you know, and put fear to death right there and be televised. You know, and then you heathens, all right, you heathens, okay, you non-believers of worldwide people, you're going to know that, hey, you know, there's a power, there's a power that we worship, you know, and that's Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. And that's the fame of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua going out like that, man. You know? So, you know, that's how it's gonna be, man. Okay? Remember, you know, there's a lot of history that are written like that, man. Okay? I'll give you an example, Akim. Read about the three brothers, right? Read about the three brothers. When they're cast into the furnace of fire, didn't a king see one like the Son of Man? Okay, deliver those three brothers out of that fire. Tell me I'm lying, man. If brothers want to put up that precept, hey, go ahead and put up them precepts, man. You know. Then you hear that another one was Daniel. You know. And the list goes on, man. Where our forefathers were delivered out of the enemy's hand. Okay, so you think Esau, you know, Saki, you think, you know, these things we read about, right? You think these things we read about are not going to be televised in this time we live in? What the fuck you think this internet was created for, man? What you think this fucking, you know, the satellites and all these fucking Starlink Esau is creating? What do you think them things are going to work for? They're going to work against Esau, man. You know, the same way you see the truth right now. At one time this truth was hidden. Right? This truth was hidden. But don't you see the truth right now being, you know, being televised? Or should I say, oh, you know, it's on YouTube, 24/7. Now you can see whatever you are. Well, it's going to be the same thing. Okay, when Esau tries to come in, you know, like a madman, Yahweh Hashem Yahshua is going to say, boom. All right? Now you're coming against me. You know? So that time is coming, man. Let me get another one real quick. This is the book of Acts, chapter 5, and verse 38. It says, and now I say unto you, refrain from these men, and let them alone. For if this counsel or this work be of man, it will come to naught. So, you know, if the work we're doing and us having this, you know, having faith towards Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, if the faith we have is not real, or the power we have this faith towards is not real power, let it be. It's going to come to naught, right? Okay? But see, Esau knows that what we believe in and this truthful preaching is the real big deal, man. It's the big deal. That's why he's trying to stop it. You know? Okay? That's why this devil's trying to stop this truth, man. How come Esau has not gone against you know, the, you know, like Sanet and them, you know, what they believe in, the Egyptians of gods, you know, that whole belief of theirs? How come Esau has never went against them? Because Esau knows that shit, nah, it ain't it. You know? You have the awakened community. Have you ever seen Esau go against the awakened community? No. You still got some, you know, individuals in those awakened community, you know, who knows a bit of what Esau does, right? But they can't prove it in the Bible. Esau will let him, you know, put that information on YouTube. He won't even bother them. But let it be us. Let me put up a video talking about Esau, and my video is about 10 minutes, and it's only receiving 4 or 5 views. Right? 4 or 5 views. But guess what? Esau's going to be like, nah, take down. Give him a strike. We've seen that, man. You know? But you got videos like of this awakened community receiving 10, 20,000 views. All right? You know, these Egyptian gods movements receiving almost 1 million. And Esau won't touch it. And these niggas will, you know, they could go in and talk about their job and talking about all this crazy ass shit. But Esau will not touch it. Because Esau knows. They ain't saying shit. You know? But let us do something like that, right? Even though we, you know, we barely receive over, you know, I'm pretty sure, you know, maybe the old videos right now, you know, the videos that was done back, you know, back in 2007, you know, those videos, if they were still on YouTube, they were, you know, because those videos were controversial, they will, you know, receive a lot of views, but those a lot of views, it's just people are tuning in for what? Tuning in for you know, to be entertained, right? So they will, you know, receive more views, but the videos that we do nowadays, barely, you know, reaching 10,000 views, man. You know? But it's cool, though. It's cool. We know we got the truth. You know, the scripture says that the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushua was going to live a little sanctuary, you know? Which goes, you know, a little sanctuary, which goes with the men of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua that are pushing this truth. Also, the truth itself. You know, it's not going to be big as, you know, as you see these other fucking, you know, so-called truth blow up, man. All right? So it says, Acts 5 and 38, it says, and now I say unto you, refrain from these men and let them alone. For if this counsel, this work be of men, it will come to naught, right? But if be of God, but if it be of high power, you cannot overthrow it, right? And we believe this truth right here. There's a high power behind it. Okay, there's a high power behind it, and you can't do anything about it, man. All right. Less happily you be found even to fight against Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. So you're gonna find yourself fighting against Yahweh Hashem Yahushua one day, man. You're already in a fight with Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. You know? So let's go from there. Let me go back to where I was at before I jumped, you know, into these other precepts. Romans chapter 13 in verse 3 says, for rulers are not a terror to good works, but to the evil, right? It says, without then not be afraid of the power, right? That which is good, It's like, do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the same. So, you know, you jakes out there was fucking playing games, man. You better do the right thing. You better start doing the right thing, because Esau is gonna come at you, and it's gonna take a lot of you niggas down, man. All right. And I'm talking about you people that know you Israelites. How about Shimshai's gonna deal with you, and he's gonna send Esau to come deal with you, man. You know, keep fucking scoffing, you know, and doing all this fucking reckless shit. You know, and see where your end is gonna be, man. You know, Esau is gonna come at you and take you down when it comes down with our great wrath, man. It said, verse 4, for he is the minister of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Esau is the minister of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Okay, you know, to thee for good, for the elect. Esau's gonna do good for the elect. You wait. You know, real quick, I'll come back there. Because right now, hey, we got jobs, right? We got jobs, we got cars, you know, we're getting our daily, you know, a weekly, fortnight, monthly check. We're eating. We got the internet, we got the phones, you know. Esau is doing good by us right now, you know. Let's come here. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 7. It says, when a man's way pleases Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, you know, we pray to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai that the things we're doing right now, or the work we're doing right now, it pleases him. Okay? We are not here to, you know, seek our own glory. Okay? Seek our own fucking vain glory, vain fame, you know. Nah, man, we want to do this work because we fear Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, and also we know we're keeping his commandments. Yahushua said, if you love me, feed my sheep, feed my lambs. That's why we do these videos, man. Okay? To make sure that the elect are being fed. All right? To make sure the elect are being warned daily, man. It says, when a man's way pleases Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. You see? So yeah, we know, you know, I forget what elder always says this, right? I believe it might be Elder Yeshua, but always says this. You know, all these truthers, okay, these them proud boys over there in USA, okay, these Edomites who are waking up to know how this, you know, society or this this system of ISIS all, you know, it was really set up to fail everyone. In the times to come, I think it might be a pastor, I could be wrong. You know, they're gonna you know, them Edomites you see, they're gonna be what? They're gonna be on the elect side, man. You wait. You know, and also Pastor always goes into this history on how they, you know, you hear some Edomites that were fighting with the Israelites going back, you know, what is it, during the Maccabees? I could be wrong. You know, I'll have to double check. I'll have to double check that. Who fought alongside with the Israelites, man? You know, and the scripture says there's nothing new under the sun. So, with all, you know, with what Esau is about to bring forth, you're gonna have some Edomites really fighting, you know, fighting for the elect, fighting for their side, because they're gonna be thinking like, oh, you know what, shit. Hey, if I fight for their side, maybe I might be, you know, be blessed. I might, you know, make it in there. You know, it's gonna happen, man. Okay. It says, let me see. There's another precept. There's another precept, man. What was it? Let me do it like this. Romans 8:31. What shall then we say to these things? If God be for us, or if Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua be for us, who can be against us? Exactly. You know? Remember the scripture says, man's going out of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. How can a man understand his own way? So you're going to have a lot of, you know, these crazy ass Edomites be controlled by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. You might be on the move, right? You haven't eaten for days and days. You might run into an Edomite, who really had his whole house, prepped up nicely. He got food, he got water, he got everything you need. You're gonna pop out there, and guess what? This Edomite is gonna welcome you in. It's gonna welcome you in. What do you want, man? What do you want to eat? You want some Wagyu, aged 50 years aged, 10 years aged Wagyu beef steak? I'll put it up there for you, Lord. Inside joke. But anyway, some nice food, man. Some water, some nice wine, some good whiskey. All that shit prepared for you. Right? The scripture says, men's are going of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. How can a man understand his own way? So they're going to be controlled in those days. Okay? Remember, I just read Proverbs chapter 16, verse 7. And then on top of that, when you read, if a brother, want to help out, go to the book of Post-Op Babakusha, Isaiah chapter 65, right? My servant shall be hungry, right? My servant shall drink, you shall be thirsty. How do you think those things are going to happen, man? Is you running into same people, same people take you in and treat you nicely and give you what you need, for a couple of days, and you're on the move, right? The scripture says, be ready to become a pilgrim upon the earth, And then another one also, Tawada, is Job. Job chapter 5, right? Job chapter 5, in famine, I think, you shall be filled or be redeemed or something like that. You think when you read those precepts, those are going to happen, and the way those things are going to happen is going to be like, fuck, man, I thought I was about to die of hunger, and boom, food is right there provided. You're being tested. It's going to be a test you're going to have to go through. For you to receive those goods, man. Okay? You're going to be starving. You're going to see some wicked-ass people trying to offer you pork. Shit that, this abominable food. They're going to try to, that's the only food the guy at the location you at is nothing but pork, rabbits, kangaroo meat, Yeah. Being tested, you starving like a motherfucker, but guess what? You're going to have to go through that test and move on. Have faith that you're going to be okay. It is written. If a brother want to put up Sirach chapter 12, Sirach chapter 2, and verse, what is that, verse 10? Okay, Baba Kusha, I'm going to read all these precepts. Okay? But are you going to be faithful, though? Are you going to be faithful unto death? We read our precept, right? Be thou faithful unto death, right? So, be thou faithful unto death. We know for sure that's gonna be dealing also with what? The once when MOTB is represented and Esau is representing death, representing death, or you take that. You ain't gonna take that, absolutely right. But also on the top of that, check this out. You're gonna go through some days where you're starving and you think you're gonna fucking die. Be faithful. Hey, you gotta have faith unto death. Yahweh Hashem is gonna reward you for that, man. Okay? Remember, we ain't strong as our forefathers, man. Alright? We being wicked. That's why, that's why, you really gotta take heed when the apostles say, start going on a fast. Okay? Start going on a fast. Start train your body to eat one meal a day. And if you don't gotta eat a meal a day, do that as well. Get your body, get used to that. Let your body be used to you going without food for a minute. So your body's already used to that. If you're an individual who eats 3 times a day, you're through. It's gonna be tough, man. Okay? I'm telling you. Fasting, all right, water fasting or dry fast, it helps. Okay? You know? Train your body to get used to those things, man. All right? All right, so let me get some of these precepts on the comment board. Just bear with me. Let me find my YouTube on this page. There we go. All right. This is the book of let me go out real quick. Let me go to the top. Let me let me get this right here first, and I'll go back to the top. Hey, Shalom, the brother Ayana from here, from here with me, the brother I used to read, Faith 144, Shalom, Aki, how about Shem Shabrakata? This is the book of, let me read this here quick. Isaiah chapter 65, verse 13. Therefore, also, hey, Aki, if you don't mind, also you can put up that precept where Daniel, right? When Daniel got fed, okay, by when Habakkuk took food to Daniel, an angel, okay, teleported Habakkuk to take food to him, right? And also there's another one, a raven brought food to somebody, man. One of those. I don't know if it's the same story or different story. Just to show you how, our forefathers were, being taken care of, man. All right. This is the book of let me read here. Isaiah chapter 65 in verse Isaiah chapter 65 verse 13. Therefore thou said the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, behold my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. So the elect, no matter what, man, they're gonna be all right. They're gonna be okay. Okay. The elect are covered already, man. Okay, real quick, let me get this right here. Let me get it out of the way. John chapter 10, verse 29. My Father, which you gave them me, is greater than all, and no man is able to pluck them out of my Father's hand. That's the elect. That's the elect right there, man. They are okay. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, got them. All right? They're going to be good. Now, let's jump down. I'm going to try to go precept upon precept here. Let me see. Job chapter 5 verse 20. In a famine he shall redeem thee from death. In a famine he shall redeem thee from death. So yeah, you see that? We're gonna be in a situation where you feel you're gonna pass out, all right? Where you're gonna die of hunger. Okay? You're gonna see people on the street who died from famine, who got taken out, from lack of food. It's like I keep asking for precepts. If a brother want to give me that book and that precept in the book of Lamentation, that it is better to be stricken to be killed by the sword than hunger. So we're gonna see people die of hunger. You're gonna be with somebody, whatever, and you're gonna see them die of hunger, man. And you're gonna see how terrible it was for how they got taken out of lack of food, and you're gonna be now. That's gonna give you fear. It's gonna give you fear, to wear the most out of my throat. Am I do something right there? Fucking idiots. To where Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, might test you. Having somebody walk right by you, see somebody, but they got that fucking like those abominable food. Are you gonna eat that abominable food, or you gonna have faith? The scripture says here, right? Let me read one more time. You gotta believe these precepts. When you read them, you gotta visualize them. Like that's what Apostle Gabbat said this, man. When you read these precepts, you gotta put yourself in it. Visualize this. Because this is gonna happen to some of us, man. To a lot of us. All right? So you gotta put yourself in these fucking situations, man. It's like an example, right? When you train, I'll give you an example. When I used to train, basketball, right? I get on the court. You set up those cones. They don't play defense. They don't move, but it becomes better when you visualize if that cone is a defense who's moving this way. Now you're hitting that cone with a counter moves. You must start with a jump, with a pump fake. Now the first thing, okay, pump fake. What do I do? If I hit my defense with a pump fake and the jump stop a little bit, I'm going. No, the first one is, okay, you get the ball or hitting, the defense hand is down, you shoot that shit, right? You brothers that play basketball, that's how it goes, right? Second one, you get a ball, you hit him with that first one, you scored. Second one you get, hand is up, right? What do? You pump fake. He jumps a little bit, he moves his feet a little bit, you going again, right? So now this time he knows, he found you up. Now he's trying to adjust his defense, right? So the next one you're gonna do what? You pump fake. He don't do nothing beautiful. Okay, he's reading you. Pump fake. Okay, hand is right there. He didn't move. What do you do next? You jab left. If he goes left, you go right. Okay, So that's how you train. I'm assuming brothers that do boxing, who do boxing, any other thing, you train like that, man. Then eventually you have a defense there. You do the same thing. You work on your craft, right? So when you read these precepts, you gotta put yourself in a situation. Okay, you gotta read it. Have faith because it is written here. I gotta have faith because it was written here. Our forefathers went through these things, but they were covered. You put yourself in a situation, okay? Ain't nothing wrong putting yourself in, visualizing these things in your head. Okay? So it says, because the scripture said in the book of Romans, chapter 15, verse 4, says, the things that are written aforetime were written for our learning. All right? So let me come back here. So Job chapter 5, let me read verse 19. It says, he shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. That's the troubles that's the last of all troubles, man. All right, because in the 7th, what? That's the fire right there. In the 7th, we're gonna be, the elect is gonna be out of here. Completion is over with. No more. All right, so let me come back here. He should deliver thee in 6 troubles. Yea, in the seventh there shall no evil touch, because 7 is what? Completion. You're gonna be out of here. All right. Verse 1. In famine he shall redeem thee from death. In the famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of this world. Okay. Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, neither thou shalt be afraid of destruction when it cometh. Because why? Yahweh Hashem is going to be with us, Lord willing, with those men. Verse 22. Our destruction and famine, thou shalt laugh. Our destruction and famine, thou shalt laugh. Okay? Neither thou shalt be afraid of the beasts of the earth, the animals of these wild beasts. We're not going to be afraid of them. They're going to be at peace with us, man. Okay? Let me go from there. Let me get this Isaiah. Okay, so I read that Isaiah already. Beautiful. Now let's go on. Sirach chapter 2, verse 10. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua and was confounded? The answer is no. Did any abide in his fear and abide in his fear? Okay, fear comes in when you're being tested, right? And if you go ahead and do something that you're not supposed to be doing, that means you don't got fear towards Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. You're just being rebellious. So you have no fear towards Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. You're done. You're through. You got to fear Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, man. In those days, you're going to be like, shit, if I do this, man, it's written here. This is an abominable thing to do. So let me fear Yahweh Hashem Yahushua and have faith that if I don't do this right here, there's going to be a great reward. You know, it says, or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that caught upon him? No one, man. Okay? Proverbs 23 and 21. For the drunkard and the glutton shall come to poverty, you see? And drowsiness shall clothe a man with rags, man. Beautiful. Okay? So, you know, you don't want to be in our mindset in those days, man. Okay? Even it starts right now, though. All right? Right now, it's like, you know, it's like with all this shit happening, man, it's like it's time to get yourself, you know, prepared for the times to come. Prepare your body, prepare yourself. You don't want to be an individual just, you know, you eating like fucking crazy, man. All right? Or brother just, you know, careless when it comes to certain things. You gotta, you know, and I'm speaking to myself as well. You know, it's time to change up. Okay? It's time to get healthy. Time to, you know, start, you know, go, you know, hit the gym and work out. Okay? See, you know. So going here, Bel and the Dragon 134. But the angel of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahshua said unto Habakkuk, Go carry the dinner that thou hast into Babylon unto Daniel, who is in the lion's den. You see? This is another man. All right. This is another man. I forget. Last time I read this here. You know. If a brother can see war land or country that Habakkuk dwelling in, it's like, you know, I could do that too. But if a brother can do that for me, that would be beautiful, because he was in a different land. And he took that food from where he was into Babylon, man. You see? Now, you know, like I gave an example last time. I said, look, you know, it's going to be crazy, man. You're going to see, you know, you're going to see brothers, you know, being teleported from, let's say, I give an example. Maybe it could be a brother from here, you know, believers from Australia, taking the food to all the way to America. Known as Babylon, according to the Bible today. Okay, it's like known as Babylon, according to, you know, America. Taking food to America, known as Babylon, according to the Bible. From all the way here, an angel teleports you. You taking food to a few brothers. So I want to say, last time we double checked, he was in the land of Judah. You know, let me see. Let me see something here real quick. He might have been in the land of Judah. I want to say he was in the land of Judah, right? Yeah, he was in the land of Judah, because it says here, right? It doesn't really give too much info, but this here will help. It says, a prophet of Israel who wrote the book by that name, probably lived about the 12th or 13th year of the reign of Josiah. You know, and you look up Josiah. Let's go here. You brothers can look up, you know, the reign of Josiah. See, you know, that was Josiah was what, one of the king, you know, of you know, that one of the Judah's king. Okay, so you know, if you go on a map, if you go on an ancient map, now you can see, it will probably show you, okay, how far both places were to one another. Okay, but the key point is right in Judah. Beautiful, see. So it was Judah. So, you know, the key point there is that, you know, we know now our people are scattered. Okay, we scattered. We no longer in our land of Judah. We no longer in in our land. All right, we're no longer there no more. We're no longer in the land of Israel. Okay, we no longer over there in so-called Middle East. All right, we're no longer there. We're being scattered around around the four corners of the earth. So, an example I'm trying to give, man, which I believe that this is going to happen. Okay, is that you're gonna be having brothers. Okay, being teleported. Brothers who got food, water. They're gonna be teleported from one country, one continent to another to feed the brothers. If you don't believe that, please leave please leave this live stream right now and say fuck you, Yasha, you a liar. That's not gonna happen. Just do that. All right, because I believe that. I believe that, and no nigga, ain't no nigga, no bitch gonna come to me and tell me that that's not gonna happen. I believe that's gonna happen. Okay? If a brother, wanna give me a precept of Kusha, Romans chapter 15, verse 4, I quoted it before. The scripture also says there's nothing, even that one too, there's nothing new under the sun, man. So I believe you're gonna have brothers either from UK or from America, okay? All right? Are being tempered by angels, giving other brothers food. That's gonna happen, man. That's gonna happen. And if you don't believe that, that's fine. You that individual who's gonna bow down and take the mark of the beast anyway, because you have no faith. You that individual who's gonna be eating all this fucking abominable food when the little famine touch your stomach. But I absolutely believe you're gonna have brothers being teleported, to different countries. Brothers from Holland, brother from Jamaica, brother from Haiti, brother from Mexico, you name it, from state to state to feed another brother, man. That's gonna happen, man. Believe it or not, it's going to happen. Let me get. Why am I even fucking getting mad? Cause dudes ain't gonna believe it, right? Romans chapter 3 and verse 3, it says, for what if some did not believe, right? What if some people don't believe what we're talking about, right? It says, should their unbelief make the faith of God without effect? God forbid. Yeah, let God be true. We're gonna let Yahweh Hashem shall be true, and his words gonna be true. All right. Hey, Shalom Akim. Let me know if you brothers can hear me. Yeah, my phone was overheating. Yeah, my phone overheated, so it's like, yeah. So let's come back here. Let me read this right here. Romans chapter 3 and verse 3, it says, what if some did not believe? Should their unbelief make the faith of God without effect? It says, God forbid. Yeah, let God be true, by every man a liar, as it is written, that thou might be justified in thy sayings, and my might is overcome when thou art judged. So Yahweh Hashem and Shah words are true no matter what, man. Okay, you believe it or not, it ain't gonna change nothing. Okay, so like I was going into, and let me go back on the comment board. I was saying, you're gonna have brothers that are gonna be fed by some other brothers from different country, because you know the angels of Yahweh Hashem Yahshua are gonna be working. All right. So let's go here. Let's go come back to the precept I was reading. Build a dragon 1 and 35, and Habakkuk said, Lord, I never saw Babylon, neither do I know where the den is, right? Verse 36, the angel of the Lord took him by the crown and bent him by the hair of his head, and through the vehemency, okay, and through the vehemency of his spirit, set him in Babylon over the den. You see that? That's teleport, man. All right, he was teleport over the den in Babylon, you know, and he gave the food to Daniel. That's gonna happen, man. All right. Okay. You know, a brother might like you, or maybe a brother might be, you know, as you brother seeing right now. You got Donald Trump talking about, you know, even the homegrown, you know, you get caught doing something, okay, you know, which we believe, you know, that whole, you know, situation going on, people being taken over there to the what's that country? Somebody please help me out. The country where they're taking, you know, deporting people to. It's over there in Central South America, right? I forget the name of the country, but anyway, you know, maybe you're gonna have brothers over there, you know, get taken over there, man. That time is coming, right? They should throw into some. They should throw you, some of you, into prison for my namesake. That's gonna happen, you know. And brothers going, you know, be teleported over there, give you food and comfort you in the spirit, man. You know, can you imagine, man? You locked up somewhere, you don't know where you are, and you see a brother show up and give you food. You know what's that gonna do, man? That's gonna comfort you in the spirit. After that, it's like you don't give them about what they do until from that time, because you know for sure Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, you know, just showed a great sign unto you, man. You know, I forget the name of the country where they're doing that. You know, when this one president he's making deals with Donald Trump, you know, to where now Trump is gonna start taking our homegrown. I'm talking about, you know, American citizens. They're gonna start taking them over there, man, to be locked up over there. You know, El Salvador, that's the country, right? Beautiful, you know. Yeah, and the brother's gonna bring you food all the way over there in El Salvador, man. Okay, so let's read on. Verse 36. Then the angel of the Lord took him by the crown and bade him by his head and by the hair of his head, and through the vehemence of his spirit set him in Babylon over the den. And Habakkuk cried, saying, O Daniel, take the dinner which Yahweh Hashem Yahushua have sent thee. Ooh-wee. You know, that is beautiful, man. That right there, you know, you gotta boost your faith up. That's why, you know, Isaiah chapter 33, verse 6. These scriptures right here, they're gonna keep us confident, man. Knowing how our forefathers were taken care of, man. You know, knowing that, understanding that, you're gonna be okay. But if you don't, I have nothing else to say to you, man. That's why it's important to build yourself right now in faith. Read these things, read these scriptures, okay? Know it, all right? And verse 38, and Daniel said, Thou hast remembered me, O Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right? Neither hast thou forsaken them that seek thee and love thee, man. Wow. Now, hey, you know what? I gotta go to the book of Sirach right now. I got to do it. Sirach chapter 2, verse 10. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Whom did he ever despise that could upon him? No one, man. It says, for the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long-suffering and very pitiful, forgiveth sins and saveth in the time of affliction. Daniel got saved in the time of his affliction. Okay? The three brothers got saved in the time of the affliction. And the list goes on. All right? Verse 12. Woe be to the faithful hearts and faint hands and the sinner that goeth two ways. Okay? Woe be unto you, man. We already seen you, Alizar. So okay, let me get my coffee. You know, we already seen you dudes out there, man. Okay? What you doing? Okay? Verse 13. Woe unto him that is faint-hearted. So you don't want to be faint-hearted in those days to come. Okay? You don't want to, man. It says, for he believeth not. He believeth not, because you're gonna be faint-hearted because you don't believe. You see? All right? It says, therefore shall he not be defended. Therefore you're not gonna be defended, man, in those days. Verse 14. Woe unto you that have lost patience. You niggas that lost patience. All right? Okay? You niggas you niggas lost patience, talking about you under the new covenant. Where are you now? You no longer teach no more, man. Okay? Some of you getting sick. You know, some of you, your nip is getting chopped off under the new covenant, right? Okay? Some of you, how about Shem Yashai is going to really, you know, judge you, man, because you add into the scriptures, you fulfilling prophecies that, you know, when there's not even time for these prophecies to be fulfilled, and then from there you don't want to repent, and then from there you just you know, talking crazy, mocking, scoffing. Like, come on, man. What's your fear towards Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man? Right? If you niggas, like I read it before, the book of Acts. If you dudes think that the we're teaching is of a man, then let us be, man. Let us be. So you dudes don't even have this like this, you know, these thoughts in the back of your head, like, damn, what if this man what they're teaching is real? What if what they're teaching is the truth? Like, you know, what if I'm going against the men of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua? No second thoughts, no examination at all. It says, woe unto you that have lost patience, what will you do when the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua shall visit you, man? The that fear the Lord, we know disobey his word. Okay? You're not going to disobey Yahweh Hashem Yahshua's word. And they that love him will keep his ways. They that love him will keep his ways. Now let's come back right here, right? Bel and the Dragon, 1:38. And Daniel said, that has remembered me, O Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, neither has thou forsaken them that seek thee and love thee, man. You see? Now let's go from there. I got another precept in the book of Psalms. This is the book of Psalms, 34. The young lions do lack and suffer hunger, but they that seek ye, how about Shem Yahushua, shall not want any good thing. You're not gonna lack anything, man. The word want. You know, when you look up, it means lack. Okay, lacking. Okay. Let's get more precepts on this right here. Bear with me for a minute. Let me get this preset right here. Then I'll go back on the comment board, read out the one with the raven as well. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 37, right? In verse 20. Let me see. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 37, and verse 23. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delighteth in his way. You see? In the AM piece, the steps of a good man and righteous man are directed and established by the Lord. He delights in his way and blessed his path. You know, that's the elect right there, man. You okay? How about Shimei is gonna, have a clear path, a pathway was, it was originally meant for you, man. Okay? It says, though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down. Yeah, as you can see, even right now, man, like, if we are the men of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, Lord willing we are, like your daily life is not perfect. Okay? Your daily life, ever since you came in this truth, right? You've been cast down, right? It's like you have fallen down, right? But guess what? You were not cast down to the ground. You got up and kept going and kept teaching. I know for sure, man, brothers, especially the brothers who's been in this truth for years and years, like the apostle, elder, bishop, the elders, they probably been through some shit to where it was, Saturday or Friday, going through some fucking shit, and you're under stress, but you're gonna go teach, and you went on highway and byways, and you thought with fire, and all that stress was gone away. You're like, man, how am I even gonna speak today, man? How am I gonna do the work today? Are you going through some shit, in the midst of the week? You're like, man, I don't think I'm gonna be able to go teach on Saturday, on Friday. But that day comes, you know, cast down. It's a little foe. You get up and you go do what? You go and preach. I've been through those situations. I'm like, damn, what the fuck? You catching hell left, like you're going through some shit. Then it's like, when that day comes, hey, you don't know where the strength came from, but you see how about Shimei dealing with you, So and that's the what? That's what's gonna happen in the days to come. Our path is, like I say, if we are over here about Shem Yahushua, our paths are being, directed by Him. So everything is gonna be okay by the end of the day. But do you have faith to believe that though? Or do you believe that though? So it says, though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down. For the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua upholdeth him with his hands. The angels are going to be right there with you, man. Guarding you, man. Strengthening you, man. You might not see them, but you're being strengthened by angels. Okay? You got this, you got angel by you, man. Daily strengthening you. Okay? Telling you, keep going, man. Okay? What's that, Chico? You got your own hype man as your angel, man, to hype you up. All right. It says in verse 25. It says, I have been young and now I am old. All right. Yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. You see that? So that's facts right there, man. Okay? The righteous men of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua are going to be all right. Okay? They're going to be taken care of. In famine, especially in famine. Psalms chapter 71 verse 9, it says, cast me not off in the time of old age, forsake me not when my strength faileth. We pray for that, man, because eventually, see, right now we're moving around. We've got to go, we're able to walk and go to the gym and do certain things. Well, eventually, man, the time is going to come to where, like, you're going to feel like this strength is gone, it's taken away, you know, like you, yeah, like, you know, like the scripture says, woe unto you, oh, cursed be the man that trusts in his own strength, you know, okay? You can't, man. You can't trust in your own strength. Okay, trust your, the things you do, you're capable of doing it at your own strength. Nah, man. You better put your trust and hope in Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, because you're gonna need that. You're gonna need him. You're gonna need him in the days to come. It says, "Cast me not off in the time of old age, forsake me now, where my strength faileth." And believe it or not, man, like I said, stress is gonna come during Jacob trouble. But are you gonna let that stress get you down there, or you gonna raise up and say, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is with me? Let me see. Verse this is the book of Psalms 37 and verse 28. It says, "For the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua loveth judgment, and forsaketh not his saints, They are preserved forever, but the seed of the wicked shall be cut off." You see? All right. Hebrews chapter 13 verse 5. "Let your conversation be without covetousness, and be content with such things as ye have, for you have said, I will never leave thee nor forsake thee." These precepts, man, these words, man. Let's go to the book of before I go there, let me get it. Isaiah chapter 36 and verse Isaiah chapter 33 and verse 6. It says, and with wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. What times, man? The times to come. The time of Jacob trouble, man. Okay, this word right here is going to keep us stable. Okay? It says, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is his treasure. Okay? So when it's knowledge, when how Yahweh Hashem Yahushua always deal with his saints, always deal with the righteous man, you're going to be okay. Okay? You're going to be all right, man. But if you don't believe what you read, you're going to be in trouble. It's simple, man. Now, let me read these precepts here. Let me read them all. Okay, let's go to the book of Daniel chapter 3, verse 1. Nebuchadnezzar the king made an image of old. It's like an image of gold, okay? And we know the modern Babylon is what? Is America. American is it's like the 10 horns, okay, and the 10 horns, 7 heads. These are going to come out with a system which is called New World Order, right? Okay. So this time is about to repeat itself again, but this time it's going to be the Idumeans doing it, and the rest of these heathens who's under them. All right. So Nebuchadnezzar the king made an image of gold, whose height was 60 cubits, and the breadth thereof 6 cubits. He set it up in the plain of Dura, in the province of Babylon. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king sent together the princes, the governors, and the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and the other rulers of the province to come to the dedication of the image which Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. Then the princes, the governors, the captains, the judges, the treasurers of the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the province were gathered together unto the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king has set up. And this image also, it's an image that was set up. Also, this man was trying to bring a new world order. It was a system. It says, and they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Right? Let's read on. Verse 4. Then Herod cried aloud to you, cried aloud. To you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages. I'm trying to mock his voice. It's like, yeah. It says, then Herod cried aloud. To you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages. Right? And the brother, he didn't put up all the precepts. Come on, Ark. I gotta go to it. It says, verse 5, the war time, it's like war time ye heard the sound of cornets, flute, harp, sakba, pastry, dulcimer, and all kinds of music. You fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king has set up. Right? And whoso felleth no down and worship share the same hour because into the midst of the burning furnace. Therefore that time, when all the people heard the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sakba, pastry, and all kinds of music, all the people and the nations and languages fell down and worshipped the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. Verse 8, wherefore at that time certain Chaldeans came there, accused the Jews. They spake and said to the king Nebuchadnezzar, O king, live forever. You know, thou, O king, has made a decree that every man that shall hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sakba, pastry, dulcimer, and all kinds of music shall fall down and worship the golden image. And whoso felleth not down and worshipeth, that should be cast into the midst of burning fury. It's like into the midst of burning fury furnace. Right. So that was a punishment. If you don't bow down and worship this image, you're gonna be thrown in there. Guess what? Easter's about to bring a system like that. If you don't bow down and take the MOTB and worship this new system, you're gonna be put to death. Either the guillotine, we don't know, but something which is guillotine, because they showed you in the movies. All right, that's coming, man. All right, verse 12. They are certain Jews. They are certain Jews whom thou hast set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have not regarded thee. They serve no thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Then Nebuchadnezzar, in his rage and fury, commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then they brought these men before the king. Remember the scripture says, you shall be brought forth before governors, before kings, for the truth's sake. Well, yeah, it's gonna happen too. For once this system of Israel is set up, man. Okay. Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, it is true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Do not ye serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I have set up? Now, if you be ready, that at what time you hear the sound of the cornet, the flute, harp, sakba, pastry, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fell down and worship the image which I have made. Well, but if you worship not, you shall be cast the same hour into the midst of the burning fury furnace. And who is that God? And who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hands? So, Nebuchadnezzar talking crazy, talking shit. He's talking shit right now. You see? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered, said, the king answered to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter. Okay? Jake being Jake, you know, Jake being Jake right there, man. Using wisdom, all right? Okay? You have niggas right now, right? You have some niggas out there, man, who would have crushed up in this situation. But this man right here used the wisdom. It says, Shadrach, Meshach, I'm going to read it one more time. Verse 16 says, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter. That's using wisdom right there, man. You know, they were pissed off. They were, going through so much was going on at that time. But they used wisdom. You're going to have niggas who's going to be put to death, because they think they are using wisdom is being a coward. We remember you niggas, man. Using wisdom is for coward, right? You even have former members of Grand Millstone who said, us Grand Millstone, we a coward, we pussy. You know? Yeah. I've heard it. I've heard it, man. I've heard it. Okay? Loud and clear on YouTube. You know? So verse 17. If it be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fury furnace, and he will deliver us out of thine hand, O king. But if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods and not worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Verse 19. Then was Nebuchadnezzar full fury, and the form of his visage was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Therefore he spake, commanded that they should heat the furnace once 7 times more than it was wont to be heated, and commanded that the most mighty men that were his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and cast them down into the burning fury furnace. Then these men were bound in their coats, their hosen, and their hats, and their other garments, and were cast into the midst of the burning fury furnace. Therefore, because the king's commandment was urgent, and the furnace exceeding hot, the flame of fire showed these men that took up Shadrach and Meshach and Abednego, and these 3 men. Second, let me read that one more time. Therefore, because the king's commandment was urgent, and the furnace exceeding hot, the flame of the fire slew those men that took them, and they got fucking killed. That took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And these 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down, bound into the midst of the burning fury furnace. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astonished, and arose up in haste, and spake and said unto his counselors, Did not we cast 3 men bound into the midst of the fire? They answered said unto the king, True, O king. He answered and said, Lo, I see 4 men loose, walking in the midst of the fire. They have no hurt, and the form of the 4th is like the Son of God. Yahushai, okay, showed himself and showed salvation, or delivered these 3 brothers, these 3 men out of that fire, man. All right, that's gonna happen in the times to come to true believers out there, man. Verse 26. Then Nebuchadnezzar came near to the mouth of the burning fury furnace, and spake and said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, you servants of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, you servants of the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, come forth and come hither. Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came forth out of the midst of the fire. And the prince, the governors, and the captains, and the king's counselors, being gathered together, saw these men upon whose bodies the fire had no power, nor was hair of their head singed, neither were their coats changed, nor the smell of fire had passed on them. Then Nebuchadnezzar spake and said, Blessed be Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who have sent his angel and delivered his servants that trusted in him, and have changed the king's word, and yielded their bodies, that they might no serve nor worship any god except their own power. Therefore I make decree that every people, nation, and language which spake anything amiss against the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahshua of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego shall be cut in pieces, and their houses shall be made a dunghill, because there's no other God but that can deliver after this sort. Then King promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of Babylon. That's how Yahweh Hashem Yahshua worked, man. Okay, towards our forefather, never forsake them. Okay, that's one history right there. Now let's go get another one. This is the book of 2 Kings. This is going to the famine. 1 Kings chapter 17 verse 4. And it shall be that thou shalt drink of the brook, and I have commanded the ravens to feed thee there. So he went and did according unto the word of Yahweh, and for he went and dwelt by the brook of Cherith, that is before Jordan, right? And the raven brought him bread and flesh in the morning, and bread and flesh in the evening. He drank of the brook, right? The raven fed I believe this is Elijah, right? It fed him, okay? Lamentation of 4:9. The die be slain with the sword are better than the die be slain with hunger. For these pine away, stricken for want of the fruits of the field, man. So it is better to die by the sword than the hunger, because hunger is going to kill you slowly. The sword will take you out with a quickness. You see that? Okay? And another one, Daniel chapter 6, real quick. Daniel chapter 6. Daniel chapter 6 and verse 25. Then King Darius wrote unto all people, nations, language that do will in all the earth, peace be multiplied to you. I make a decree that every... Oh, you know what? Let me go to the top. Daniel chapter 6 verse 18. The king went to his palace and passed the night fasting, neither were instruments of music brought before him, and his sleep went from him. Then the king arose very early in the morning and went in haste unto the den of lions. And when he came to the den, let me Daniel chapter 6 verse 10. Now when Daniel knew that the writing was a sign, he went into his house, and windows being open in his chamber toward Jerusalem, he kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, as he did aforetime. Then these men assembled and found Daniel praying and making supplications before his power. Then they came near and spake before the king concerning the king's decree. Thou no sign a decree that every man that shall ask petitions of any god or a man within 30 days, save thee, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions? The king answered and said, the thing is true, according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which uttereth not. Then answered they and said before the king, that Daniel, which is of the children of the captivity of Judah, regarded not thee, O king, nor the decree that has signed, but maketh petition 3 times a day. The king, when he heard this thing, it's like when he heard his words, was displeased with himself and set his heart on Daniel to deliver him, and he labored until he labored till the going down of the sun to deliver him. Then these men assembled unto the king and said unto the king, Know, O king, the law of the Medes and the Persians is that no decree nor statutes which the king established might be changed. Then the king commanded, and they brought Daniel and cast him into the den of lions. Now the king spake and said unto Daniel, Thy power, whom thou servest continually, he will deliver thee. And a stone was brought and laid up on the mouth of the den, and the king sealed it with his own signet, with the signet of his lords, that the purpose might not be changed concerning Daniel. Then the king went into his palace and passed the night fasting. Neither was instruments of music brought before him, and his sleep went from him. Then he rose early in the morning and went in haste unto the den of lions. And when he came to the den, he cried with a lamentable voice unto Daniel. And the king spake and said to Daniel, O Daniel, servant of servant of the living Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is thy power, whom thou servest continually, and continually able to deliver thee from the lions. Then said Daniel unto the king, O king, live forever. My power have sent his angel, and have shut the lions' mouth, that they have not hurt me, for so much as before him innocence was found in me. Innocence was found in me, and also before thee, O king, I have done no hurt. Then was the king exceeding glad for him, and commanded that they should take Daniel up out of the den. So Daniel was taken out from the den, and no manner of hurt was found upon him, because he believed in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And the king commanded that they brought before these men which had accused Daniel, and they cast them into the den of lions, them their children and their wives, and the lions had the mystery of them, and break all their bones in pieces, or ever they came out of the bottom of the den. Then King Darius wrote unto all people, nations, and languages that do it in all the earth, Peace be multiplied unto you, for I make a decree that every dominion and every dominion of my kingdom tremble in fear before the king of Daniel, which is Yahweh, right? Which is Yahweh. For he is the living power, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, steadfast forever, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed, and his dominion shall be even unto the ends. He delivereth and rescueth, and he worketh signs and wonders in heaven and in the earth, who have delivered Daniel from the power of the lions. So this Daniel prospered in the reign of Darius and in the reign of Cyrus the Persian. You see? And that's the work of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. That's the history that we read about of our forefathers, man. The things that they were faced, but they stuck true to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua and would deliver out of those situations. And these heathen kings gave reverence to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. So these are things that we gotta keep in mind. So let me read this last precept here. Psalms 71:1. In thee, O Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, do I put my trust. Let me never be put to confusion. Deliver me in the righteousnesses and cause me to escape. Incline thine ear unto me and save me. Be thou my strong habitation, whereunto I might continually resort. Thou hast given commandment to save me. For thou art my rock and my fortress. Deliver me, O my power, out of the hand of the wicked and out of the hand of the unrighteous and the cruel man. So that's it for today, man. Today lesson has been about understanding the things that we're gonna face, but also understand that Yahweh Hashem Yahushai out of those things, or the troubles ahead of us, you gotta understand that we're gonna be delivered out of those things, man. Yahweh Hashem Yahshua is gonna be for us, all right? Like I read before, okay? If Yahweh Hashem Yahshua be for us, then who can come against us, Okay? Then if you're a man is well pleased Yahweh Hashem Yahshua, it's gonna make your enemy be at peace with thee. Like we just read about, two accounts, the three brothers, and also Daniel, okay? How, those kings of those empires, okay, we are peace with them, okay? So believe it or not, man. And then also in the famine, how, our forefathers were, able to eat, okay? So with that, man, tawada for you brothers, for tuning in, tawada for the precepts, all right, and also slacky, for my phone being, it cut off before because of the sound was hitting my phone, so slacky about that. So with that, man, hopefully this lesson was edified, okay, and edify to you brothers out there and comfort you. Understand that, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is always going to be with his servants no matter what, man, That's something you got to keep within your heart, okay? So with that, man, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Hashem Yahushua, Hashem Kakodash, and also double honor to the apostles, the elder bishops, and the elders, Grand Millstone who rule well, and also Shalom to sincere Akim there pushing truth in the name of Yahweh, Hashem Yahushua, Hashem Kakodash. I say, hey, Shalom.